and welcome to Tango at Home.
Today we will be working on musicality on Tuesday sequence, but not exactly, because we will be working on musicality of the embrace, and we will be exploring how we can use a dynamic embrace to change according to the music and what we want to do. For example, maybe move slower or faster according to the music. And we will be also seeing the element of an elastic embrace, which will create a more dynamic effect.
But before, subscribe to our channel, give us a like if you like this video, and hit the notification button so that you always be notified when we upload a new video. So
Let's
now,
go.
join us.
One question we've been asked a lot is if we should be parallel in the embrace or in a V position. And for us, that actually depends. One of the main factors that defines if the embrace should be parallel or in a V position is the difference of our heights.
If you're short as me, or if you are tall as you.
And why? This works with the geometry of the embrace. When I embrace as a leader a human being,
He can also embrace
this part of my arm defines their space that they can fit. So I have an anchor point here, and then this part, the anchor point is my elbow, and then this part should be parallel with the back of my follower. So if I will go here, for example, just to show you the geometry, if we had the same height, I could embrace here in a parallel embrace because my anchor point is high enough to allow this part of my hand to create all this space. But as my partner is shorter, then her shoulder will be bringing my anchor point more down, which creates less and less space here from my torso to the anchor point. And look what happens to this part that is parallel with the back. From here, it's almost parallel with my torso. But as my anchor point goes down, it starts getting more to a V position. Which means here, in this difference, we can easily be in a parallel embrace. But as I go higher, my anchor point gets lower, and here, if we try to be in the close position, we will have to embrace here. So we create all these empty spots here. But if Rita tries to come more to the V position, now I can embrace her without having any empty spots here. Of course, this is not wrong. You can also be here, but we like leaving no empty spots in the embrace, so it would be here. This, as we said, is one of the factors that define the parallel or the V embrace, and of course there is other factors too. But imagine this case, which is another question that we get quite often, is if the difference is so high that the head of the follower is almost to the torso or to the belly of the leader, what happens? Here the V embrace is really helpful because it gives space to the follower to breathe actually and not be stuck with the nose on the leader. So here, look, if I have the V embrace, I can fully embrace my partner even if we have this difference, and she still has the space to breathe here.
And not being there.
Yes. Instead of this.
And then here, I will also try to force my head up, alright? So the idea in the embrace is to be as comfortable as possible and as well aligned as possible. So we always have to acknowledge the differences of heights. I will now show you an exercise to practice how to approach your partner and to keep the lines that Sarah and Juanpi were working on Tuesday. So your back line and your front line to avoid finding your partner and going to the metatars, because this will take you out of balance. So what we are going to use is a wall, alright? Make sure that you are in your zero position and your shoulders are aligned with your hips and your hips aligned with your heels, okay? What we are going to imagine is that we have a string on our chest and someone will pull on a diagonal up. What will happen as well is that you will increase the distance between your hips and your rib cage, but make sure that you're not opening the rib cage. The rib cage always stays close, alright? And by increasing this distance, you are also stretching your psoas muscle. So it goes like this. You are together in the wall, And also what you want to avoid is to move your hips forward or to gain distance between the walls. So your lower part won't move. The only part that will move is the upper part. So if now I pull the string, I will go in that direction. So if you see here, what I'm creating is increasing this distance, alright, and approaching my partner here. You can also see this in Sarah and Juanpi video on Tuesday, that they work with the arrows, alright? So again, you are going to pull the string and approach your partner. You can also think that you want to create space here for someone to embrace you, okay? So if I'm here, I will create this space now for my partner to embrace me in the back. And this is a good exercise to have always your lower body aligned with your feet, alright? So there's no movement of my pelvis, but it's only an upper body movement. And that's the exercise.
You are in the close embrace. When you want to open, think that you want your neck bone here to come over your heels. So from here, and at the same time, of course, readjust the embrace accordingly to how much you want to open. So from here, I get my neck bone to the heels, and I readjust the embrace. And she will immediately feel your intention to create this opening in the embrace.
As for us followers, how do we ask the leader to open the embrace? We will use exactly the same technique as the leaders use when they want us to open the embrace, alright? So I will use my neck, the neck bone, to ask to open. So I create this sensation of expansion, of creating this expansion to open, alright?
With the term dynamic embrace, we mean an embrace that changes according to the movement that we want to do, which of course we choose according to the music. For example, if we want to dance fast or sharp, we need to have a firm embrace with locked articulations so that the energy doesn't spread out. In our sequence, examples of these movements are the ochitos and the quebrada. If we want to make our movements long, more dynamic and elastic, then we need to have an elastic embrace by unlocking our articulations. In our sequence, the moment that we use an elastic embrace is during the rebound just before the end. And last, when we want to dance calm, soft or slow, which we can also say that is the default situation, we need to have a stable embrace with unlocked articulations that allows the embrace to breathe with our partner. In the sequence, we use that type of embrace in the beginning and in the end, and in general whenever we are not using another type of embrace. We will start with the ochitos. Ram, pam, pam, pam. Now, whenever we want to do the ochito, there is a change of weight there. There is forward and forward. Which means that when we apply this stop in her pivot, now we also have to leave the change of weight. How? By transferring her axis a bit to the other leg. So I will not stop her here, because then she will pivot on the left leg. Boop, left, and she will go back. What I want is, as she changes, boop, to be on the right, so then she can go from the again.
So what I feel is that as soon as I do the forward step and I feel the turn, I already feel the direction, that direction. So that forces me to change the weight, alright?
So it's a different thing to do 1, 2, 3, and a different thing to do 1, 2, 3. In the elastic rebound, look how I initiate the rebound, but then I keep my axis behind and I expand the embrace using my articulations.
At this point, look how we both stretch our elbows and then we come back again.
When you open, don't leave the embrace, this hand in the same position where it was before, because this will bring your shoulder forward. You have to slide your hand in the back of the follower. So why is it called an elastic movement? We will actually use an elastic band to show you exactly why. So as I start the rebound, look what happens. By keeping my axis behind, I create this tension in the elastic band.
And this is the tension that I perceive to also finish my rebound. And because I have this tension, the elastic band is bringing me forward. So now my intention is to go forward to finish the movement. So again, rebound and go. And parada.
Now this, of course, we create with the embrace, this effect. So from here, and this effect of elasticity can be either small or big. So it can be small, or we can make it really more dynamic. Boom. In the embrace, of course, we don't have an elastic band, but our frame works as an elastic band. In this moment, whoop, it's our frame that works as this elastic band. So that was all for today. If you have any questions, don't forget to write them in the comments down below or send us a private message. We will be more than happy to help you or even send you a video.
Also, if you want to improve your technique, or also as a couple, if you want us to help you with something, we can give you a private lesson online. So for that, just contact us.
Don't forget that on Sunday at 4 p.m. we have our regular Tango Fika.
And every Saturday we have now our new project, which is a Tango online class where we will be giving a small choreography and we will be working technical details. So at 4 p.m. with me and Sara for the followers, and at 4:45 for the leaders with Panos and Juanpi.
See you guys!
Big kiss! Hey do!
Bye bye! On musicality of Tuesdays. Musicality using the sequence of Sara and Juanpi of the previous Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday.
So that was all for today.
No.
7 and
Hello!
So we will see how we can say it. And if you have any questions, write them.
Bright.